Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji is known for his high threshold of spirituality, piety, and most of all, his epic sacrifice to stand against injustice and repression of the weak by the mighty. He is often called the Hind Ki Chadar, which is to denote the fact that he stood up for the cause of the Hindus against the intolerant policies of Emperor Aurangzeb, who wanted to convert all Hindus to Islam. And by so doing, he put in a unique effort to save the Hindu community. But I look at the contribution of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji in a different light. In my perception, the contribution of the Guru to humanity is not bound by any geographic boundaries. He made a universal contribution by standing up for the rights of the downtrodden and thus becoming one of the early champions of human rights. It was he who stood for justice and he stood for freedom, and most significantly, he stood for freedom of religion. As we start our talk on Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, we must first recollect the nobility and the spirituality of the Guru's family. He was the maternal great grandson of Guru Ramdas Ji, the fourth Guru of the Sikhs. He was the grandson of Guru Arjan Dev. He was the son of Guru Hargobind, the sixth Guru of the Sikhs. It is quite evident that he had a very big, very noble legacy to live up to, and he did it with great honor and with great esteem. The Guru was the fifth son of Guru Hargobind, born from his wife Mata Nanki on April 1622. At that stage, the Guru Hargobind was staying in Amritsar, so his birth was in a place called Guru Ka Mahal, and he was named Tyagmal. His education, as would be befitting the son of a guru and a prince, was carried out under the best teachers. He had complete knowledge of the scriptures of the six scriptures as well as the other scriptures. He was taught subjects like poetry, sociology, social aspects, and other things. And most significantly, in those days, from the time of Guru Hargobind Ji, it had been decided that the families of the gurus would also take tutelage in martial arts and in weaponry and in wars. So he was an adept swordsman, and he was also very good with other weapons. He was married to Mata Gurjar Kaur in 1632 at a very early age, but he had only one son, that is later Guru Gobind Singh Ji, born Guru Gobind Rai on December 22, 1666. At that time, their marriage was 34 years old. Tyagmal was singularly dedicated to his father, who was also his guru. He would abide by every direction that was given to him, and he would abide by all the principles that were laid down in the Sikh religion. It was because of this dedication that at the age of 13, at a very young age of 13, he was by his father's side when his father fought a battle against a Mughal general known as Painda Khan in Kartarpur. Of course, Guru Hargobind had fought many other battles before that also, and this was in fact his last battle. He acquitted himself with great courage, and he showed his martial powers on the field, for which reason, after having won the battle, his father Guru Hargobind changed his name from Tyagmal to Tegh Bahadur, which means a brave and a good wielder of the sword. However, the battle had a very deep impact on Baba Tegh Bahadur. He already had certain meditative tendencies, and under those circumstances, he became even more reclusive in his thought process. So, At that stage, after having fought that particular battle, Guru Hargobind decided that he would not get into a conflict with the Mughals again, for which reason he planned to leave Kartarpur Sahib and settle down in the hills in a very hilly area at Kiratpur, where there is a Gurdwara now. Also, at that stage, Guru Hargobind and his family was beset with a number of tragedies. His elder son, Baba Gurditta, who had been tutelaged to become the Guru and who had all the spiritual tendencies to take on the mantle, was asked for by Baba Siri Chand, the son of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who was still alive at that stage and who was the head of the Udasi sect. He was asked for by Baba Siri Chand Ji to head the Udasi sect. Guru Hargobind could not refuse, so Baba Gurditta became the head of the Udasi sect. But he did not live for long over there and he died before Guru Hargobind's passing away. Two other sons of Guru Hargobind, Baba Atal Rai, Baba Ali Rai, also did not live, they also passed away. So he had now the option between his son Surajmal and Baba Tegh Bahadur. Both of them had tremendous meditative tendencies and reclusive tendencies, and there were other reasons also. I have reason to believe that Guru Hargobind knew that Guru Tegh Bahadur had to do bigger things in life, and the time was not right for him to become a Guru. So, anyway, whatever in his wisdom, he chose the son of Baba Gurditta, that is Har Rai, to become the seventh Guru and to replace him. And he started teaching Har Rai all the nuances that would be required to be the master of the Miri and the Piri, the spiritual and the temporal powers of the Sikh religion. Having so decided, Guru Hargobind called upon Baba Tegh Bahadur to leave Kiratpur and settle down in his maternal house in Bakala. Now here comes the nobility of Baba Tegh Bahadur. He did not whisper a word against his father or question his wisdom or the fact that he had he had set him aside for the Guruship in favor of his nephew. A little bit of talk on the subject was done by his mother, Bibi Nanki, but Guru Hargobind convinced her that it was all for the better. So Mata Nanki, Mata Gurjar Kaur and Baba Tegh Bahadur went to Bakala. There in the house, there was a basement and he got into deep meditation over there. Despite his reclusive tendencies, he did not leave the world and he did not leave worldly affairs. Guru Hargobind did come and stay with them for some time in Bakala, and later on, when the Guru passed away, Baba Tegh Bahadur went to Kiratpur to do the rituals and he accepted Guru Har Rai as his Guru. Later on, he also accepted Guru Har Kishan as his Guru, even though he was so young and he was his grandnephew. And at their behest and at their directions, he many times went out to preach Sikhism in the highest principles of Sampark and Samvad. He did not hold any kind of animosity with the Gurus and he accepted the situation with utmost grace. Guru Har Kishan, as you would know, he was very young and he was afflicted by smallpox in Delhi while looking after people who were suffering from the plague. And when his last time came, he uttered two words to give an indication to his followers as to who would be the next Guru. And those two words were Baba Bakala, which means that the old man who is there in Bakala will be the next Guru. So it was left upon the followers to go and find the next Guru. And when the word spread, there were many pretenders who settled down in Bakala to take on the mantle, to say that they were the ones that Guru Har Kishan had referred to. Now over here comes a very interesting story. There was a follower of the Sikh house, the Sikh Gurghar. His name was Makhan Shah Labana. So Makan Shah Labana was a very big, rich merchant, and his ship in the seas, it got stuck in a storm. And at that stage, he vowed that if he would come out of the storm, he would give 500 gold coins to the Guru Ghar. As he came out of the storm, immediately he went to Delhi to give his contribution to Guru Harkishan Ji, and he found that the Guru was no more, and the next Guru would be in Bakala. So he went to Bakala, and over there he found, as other followers of Guru Harkishan also found, so many pretenders sitting over there. So what he did was he started going to each one of those pretenders and giving 5 coins, 5 gold coins. All of them accepted the 5 coins, and he came to know that they are not the gurus. In the end, he was quite disturbed for not having found the Guru when he was told that there is another saint who is meditating in a house, in the basement of a house in Bakala. So he went over there and he found Guru Tegh Bahadur, and as was his wont, he offered him 5 coins, 5 gold coins. The Guru smiled, he took the 5 coins and he told him, Makhan Shah, you had actually promised 500 coins for the Guru Ghar. So this is how he came to know that this was the right Guru that Guru Harkishan had spoken about. And then the process of his initiation as the 9th Guru was started by the followers of the Sikh religion, the big names who had come over there. Guru Tegh Bahadur was very reticent to take over this responsibility because he was an ascetic and he wanted to meditate and continue with his life the way it was. But having been called upon by his religion and due to the instructions of his Guru to take on the responsibility, he could not refuse. So he became the 9th Guru of the Sikhs. It was a very difficult time for the Sikhs at that stage. Internally, there were many others who had animosity against the Guru Ghar. In Amritsar was sitting the Meenas, which was the lineage of Prithi Chand, the elder and estranged brother of Guru Arjan. It was his grandson who was holding Harmandir Sahib, and his name was Haji. In Kartarpur, another seat of the Sikhs was sitting Dhirmal, the elder brother of Guru Har Rai, and he had the original Guru Granth Sahib in his possession. All of them were pretenders to the Guru Gaddi. Then in Dehradun was sitting Ram Rai, who was the brother of Guru Har Rai, who was the elder son of Guru Har Rai Ji, and he was also running a sect, and he had the support of Emperor Aurangzeb. So Guru Tegh Bahadur first went to Amritsar to pay homage, and Harji did not allow him in. His Sikhs wanted to get into conflict, but he refused that. So he was given entry, and he sat on the side in a place where there is Gurdwara Thara Sahib, and he paid his obeisance and went away. This shows that the Guru was a man of peace. He did not want to get into conflict with anybody. After that, he went to Kartarpur, and over there also he was denied entry by Dhirmal. So ultimately, the Guru decided that he would make another settlement for himself, for which reason, near Kiratpur, he purchased some land out of 3 villages, and he started building a settlement which he called Chak Nanki. There were these issues, and also the fact that he was conscious that for a very long time, no Guru had gone towards the south of India, Bharat at that time, and towards the east, where Guru Nanak Dev Ji had gone, and he had preached. So the Guru took it upon himself to go and resurrect the teachings of Guru Nanak in the south and the eastern parts. Accordingly, with his entourage, he went through Agra, Allahabad, Banaras, and Gaya. And it was at that stage that his wife, Mata Gurjar Kaur, she also conceived. And ultimately he reached Patna. When he reached Patna, it was his wife was in the advanced stage of pregnancy, so he left her there and he went onwards to Assam and to Dhaka, where he met with certain royal people over there and he preached. The method of preaching of Guru Tegh Bahadur was very interesting. he not only preached the religion, and he not only took the name of the God as was told by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, he also took a lot of interest in improving the lives of people who at that stage were living under very deprived conditions because of misgovernance by the rulers. And he took in a lot of interest in that, for which reason there were scores and many people who were gravitated towards the Sikh religion and who became his followers. When he got to know that a son was born to him, Govind was born in Patna, he went back and he stayed in Patna for a few years, which were the best years of his life, where he spent time with his son. And the tutelage of Govind also started over there. But by that time, news of the intolerant attitudes of Emperor Aurangzeb, especially so in Punjab, and his conditions of the Sikhs and the Hindus in Punjab not being very good, such news started trickling in. So he decided that it was time for him to go back to Punjab, and as such he went to Anandpur Sahib and sat over there in 1671. His family followed him, and the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, his education, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, it continued in Anandpur Sahib. It was while he was there that the growing power of the Sikhs also, the Mughals came to know about it, and they were quite wary about it. And then came a day when a delegation of Kashmiri Pandits led by Pandit Kirparam Dutt, they came to him. Pandit Kirparam had a very old association with the Guru Ghar. His ancestors had also met the Gurus, and they told him that the governor of Kashmir, he was overzealous in applying the directions of his emperor of changing everybody, all Hindus, to the Muslim religion. And they had told him that we will first confer with our Guru, and then we will come and let you know what we can possibly do. Guru Tegh Bahadur heard all this, and he carried out a discussion with his followers and within his district as to what could be the best method to deal with the problem. And it was decided that somebody of stature should go to Delhi and plead the case of the Hindus and the Kashmiri Pandits. Now, when it was being decided as to who would go, his son Govind told him that, Guruji, father, who can be of a bigger stature than you? So it is you who should be going and putting up the case of the Hindus at Delhi. Guru Tegh Bahadur was very well aware that if he went to Delhi, he would not come back alive. But now that it had been decided and he had taken upon himself to to fight for justice and to fight for righteousness, he decided to go to Delhi. But before going, he also anointed his own son to be the next Guru once he would pass away. By that time, Aurangzeb and his governors had also made a false case against the Guru, saying that there had been some misappropriation of taxes, or he was taking illegal taxes and things like that, and they wanted to arrest him. But before they could do so, the Guru had already proceeded to Delhi, and en route he and his followers were arrested. They were subjected to great humiliation and torture. The Guru was kept in a cage, and his followers were made to walk. They were put into chains and walk along with him, and with all people seeing all that, they put him into a lot of humiliation. But he did not relent. He was absolutely calm, he was absolutely quiet, and he took everything in his stride with utmost of grace. So, having been defeated in their designs, the oppressors finally took him to Delhi, where he was taken to the Kotwali. A Kotwali is a police station. He was taken to the Kotwali of Chandni Chowk, and a sham of a case was initiated against him. The judges were the Kotwal and the Qazi, and they put three conditions to the Guru. The first was to convert to Islam, the second was to show a miracle, and the third was to accept death. The Guru had no hesitation in accepting death. He said that you cannot convert my religion, you cannot put any pressure on me, you cannot take away my freedom. I will die before giving up all these principles. So, miracle in any case, he had the capacity to show miracles. His family had earlier also had people who could show miracles, but it was forbidden in the Sikh religion. So, he did not want to do anything of that sort. So finally, they realized that the Guru is not going to relent. So to put further pressure on him, they started getting after his followers. They told his followers, Bhai Matidas, Bhai Satidas, and Bhai Dayala, one at a time, to convert. But they all refused, and they were told that if you refuse, you will die. All of them went to the Guru, they took his blessings, and the Guru blessed them and told them that they were going on the righteous path and they should accept the will of God. So Bhai Matidas was sawn from the head downwards in front of the Guru. After that, Bhai Satidas was wrapped in cotton and he was burnt alive. And finally, Bhai Dayala was put into a cauldron of burning oil. All of this the Guru saw in front of his eyes with absolute grace and with total patience, and he was absolutely convinced that whatever is happening was the will of the Almighty. So after that, they were left with the oppressors were left with no option but to announce a death sentence on the Guru, and the next day the Guru was beheaded. Legend says it that when he was beheaded, there was a sudden storm which came over there, and in the melee that it caused, his body was taken away from the site by one of his followers who was a potter by profession, a low caste person with the name of Lakhi Shah Vanjara, and also known as Banjara. So he took the body to his house and he burned his entire house in order to cremate the body with honor. So where this body was cremated, where the house was burnt, there stands now Gurdwara Rakab Ganj in Delhi. His head was taken by Bhai Jeta, who was a Rangreta Sikh. It was taken all the way back to Anandpur Sahib, where the cremation was carried out by his son Guru Gobind Singh Ji with all rituals. So this is the story of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. And now, on the basis of what I have told you, I will very quickly go through his persona and his teachings. The first point that comes up is what is written in the Dasam Granth and what was said about him by his son. But the son said about his father, Dharam het sakha chin kiya, sees diya par sirar na diya, which means that for the sake of dharma, he sacrificed himself. He laid down his head, but he did not give his creed or his honor. So, as is very obvious and very apparent from my talk, the Guru was a poet, he was a philosopher, he was a thinker, he was a warrior, and he was a very, very spiritual person. When it came upon him to take on responsibility, he unhesitatingly preserved the light and the divinity of Guru Nanak Dev Ji with the principles of Nirbhav and Nirvair. He feared nobody and he had nothing against anybody. He lived a life of absolute purity. He was austere and he was ascetic. It has to be noted that from the times of Guru Har Gobind Ji, when the Sikh Gurus took over temporal as well as spiritual powers, they also took over the insignia of royalty, and they would wear a kalgi and there was a nagara. Guru Tegh Bahadur also had the same powers, but you can see in the photographs that are there available, the way he is depicted, that he continued to wear very simple clothes and he continued to live a very simple life, and he was all the time very worried about service to the community, as can be seen that with his preachings, he also looked after the welfare of the people to the greatest extent that he could. He was a very big poet. He was a very accomplished poet, and he wrote about the Almighty in a very, very succinct and a beautiful manner. So the Guru Granth Sahib, when it was made by Guru Arjan Dev Ji. It had the Bani of the five Gurus, the first five Gurus, including Guru Arjan Dev, and of certain Bhakts. But after that, Guru Har Gobind Ji, Guru Har Rai Ji, and Guru Har Kishan Ji, they did not add any Bani to the Granth Sahib because they wanted to leave the scripture the way it was. But Guru Gobind Singh Ji, when he once again reinvented the Granth Sahib because there were certain aberrations that had come in over time in the writings, he included the Bani of his father Guru Tegh Bahadur, but he did not include his own Bani, which went into the Dasam Granth. So the Guru Granth Sahib has got the Bani of Guru Tegh Bahadur also, and the first five Gurus and the other Bhakts in it. Guru Tegh Bahadur's Bani in the Guru Granth Sahib has got 116 shabds which are written in 15 rags. Those who read it would know that his policy towards life, his policy was to reach a state where there is no grief in bad times and there is no pleasure in good times. Limited pleasure, of course. And he wanted to say that a person becomes free from fear and attachment with complete immunity from greed and pride if he follows the path of the Guru in his worship of the Almighty. In many places, he has referred to the need for a person to remain ready to even sacrifice himself for the sake of protecting others and for the sake of righteousness and justice. So those were the teachings of the Guru, and he held on to his teachings with letter and spirit. As far as the aftermath is concerned, you all are well aware that Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the son of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, he created the Khalsa, and the concept of the nation which had been set up by Guru Har Gobind Ji was completed by him, and the Khalsa forever fought for justice and righteousness and for the protection of the downtrodden, to the extent that in 150 odd years after Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they managed to break two big empires and create a beautiful secular society for themselves in Punjab under Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Ever since, things have changed, but the basic principles of the Khalsa and the basic principles of the Sikhs, as taught to them by the Gurus and as enunciated by Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji with his supreme sacrifice, they continue to live in the hearts of every Sikh. And in Punjab, everybody lives in the light of the Gurus, so the light is still continuing. In complete homage to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, and with utmost humility, I complete my address over here, and I thank you once again for giving me this time to speak on this very spiritual subject. If I have erred, I would once again ask for forgiveness. Thank you very much.